Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today is Political Judgment Day in California. We'll talk about that. Plus, Andy has the rundown.
Sam, District Judge James Hardesty joins us this morning to talk about that Supreme Court decision we all like so much, and also to talk about what's new for jurors in that jury pool. And then we talk to Carl Linvill, newly appointed to the Public Utilities Commission. Is Sierra Pacific Power going to go bankrupt? Sam?
Thanks, Andy. Coming up on the pundit panel, Alfredo, Alonso, and Keith Lee. You'll never guess what we'll be talking about. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch us straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. Judge Jim Hardesty joins us today. Is there any situation he cannot negotiate for all the parties? We'll find out today as we talk to him. Welcome.
That's an actual lead-in, but I want to skip that subject right now and go to the two-thirds decision by the Nevada State Supreme Court. And I know you're limited on what you can say because of judicial rules and so forth in the state. Judge Maupin disagreed and dissented with the court in both their rulings pertaining to the two-thirds majority. Would you have agreed or disagreed with Justice Maupin?
I would have agreed with Justice Maupin. In the first decision, he made clear that the court should wait before entering any ruling and give the legislature and the governor some additional time. I can't know for certain what he would have done or what the court might have done if they had delayed and the legislature had still failed to act. But I think that the pressure should have remained in the political process, and I think the court, by waiting and exercising perhaps some restraint, would have been a better approach. Of course, hindsight's always 100%. The legislature eventually did act, and so it's easy perhaps to make that kind of assessment. But as we know, it injected some additional issues into the process. and additional controversies, and maybe wasn't altogether helpful. Although in the second opinion, the court makes clear, the majority makes clear, that the legislature themselves felt that by having the 2/3 majority position set aside, or requirements set aside, that actually helped the legislature move forward in adopting a tax plan that was adopted by 2/3. So who knows? In the second opinion, I would have agreed with Justice Maupin primarily with respect to the comments about the people's right to vote on these petitions. I think if the people decide to pass a constitutional amendment like that, you got to deal with it.
In the first instance, though, the first opinion, Justice Maupin said that he might have, down the road, agreed with the rest of the justices. He wasn't totally against. He just wanted to wait a little while, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think what he said was, let's wait. I don't think he indicated that he would have taken the action that they took. It was a fluid situation, to say the least. And I think one of the things that I would have considered is perhaps some more restraint. But at the same time, the court was placed in a very difficult position. And the Supreme Court is called upon to resolve disputes, particularly like this, where you have competing constitutional provisions, or at least apparently competing constitutional provisions. Whether or not they were actually competing is another question. Was it just a difficult process because the legislature wasn't acting?
You found
historically, excuse me,
go ahead.
Historically, the court has come back out in suits like these and said, we're not going to rule on this. It's a violation of the separation of powers. And yet that didn't happen this time.
That's true, and I think the court has explained its reasoning that there was serious damage, in their view, being done to the educational system in the state, and felt constrained to act based on that damage and that injury. You know, I'm not sure that one can say the separation of powers justifies the Supreme Court of our state holding back from making a decision like this. They are responsible for resolving conflicts and interpreting the Nevada Constitution. That's their job. And certainly issues were squarely put before them, raising conflicts in the Constitution. They're the ones to resolve it. Now, how you go about resolving that is always subject to debate and subject to analysis. They made that decision in the heat of that moment. People can sit back and criticize as they choose the decision. But one thing I do think we ought to remember, the Supreme Court acted swiftly, much more swiftly than many Supreme Courts have acted in the past in this state. Additionally, I find it interesting that the debate is centered around the decision, whether it was the right decision or the wrong decision, as opposed to debates that have occurred involving our Supreme Court in the previous maybe 20 plus years, where the debate has centered around whether there was some politics involved or some inappropriate behavior between the justices or a lack of civility between them. That's not the case in the current court, and it hasn't been for the last 5 years. That has changed dramatically in the caseload.
Well, except that there was the column in the Las Vegas Review-Journal we referred to where, quote, the fix was in, according to a source of Vin Suprinowicz of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which the newspapers continue to back up. I have two very, very quick things. We have about 30 seconds left here. Number one, you found yourself in a very tough spot, not in a similar situation, but in a situation of where there was a petition with a train trench. Mm-hmm. So you must have empathy for those justices who are sitting there, because you also had to rule on your own in a very tough thing.
I definitely do. It's a very difficult situation to be a judge and be called upon to rule in those kinds of situations, going against really what the public would like to do, and frankly, what I would like to have allowed the public to do. But in that particular situation, the case was pretty clear in my mind, when even the petitioner's counsel doesn't offer you any legal authorities to support the basis for
Okay, and one last
aside.
very quick
Sure.
question. There are going to be several open Supreme Court seats. You going to be running for one of them?
I've considered it, Sam. I like very much the job that I do now. I am a district court judge, always wanted to be a district court judge. There's an immense difference between being a trial court judge and an appellate judge. I'm considering it, but I don't know that I'll do anything like that.
Hear that creaking sound?
Yeah, well,
That's the door
listen,
opening.
we didn't get to nearly the things that we needed
We'll
to
have
talk
him back.
about. Will you come back next week?
Of course.
We'll
Thank
be
you
back
for
with
asking.
Judge Hardesty.
Thank you very much.
Actually, we won't be back with him today. We'll be back with him next week. We'll be back with our next guest on Nevada Newsmakers.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at DeAndrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South DeAndrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Carl Linvill joined the commission of the PUC last week. You'd think we'd give him a break, but no, we got him on the show already. Welcome.
Thank you.
Carl, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Let's start right away. It's been in the news for the last couple of days, the problem between Sierra Pacific and Enron. Are we going to see our power company go bankrupt?
Well, let's take one step back and think about what this Enron lawsuit is really about. My understanding of what the judge said was that he couldn't rule on the appropriate amount, that was a job for FERC, for the Federal
Energy Regulatory
Commission. And what he did rule was on matters related to the language in the contract. I think it would be very surprising if FERC continued to allow Enron to collect this amount of money for contracts that were entered into during a time when FERC has already found that contracts on the spot market, that is contracts that are very short term, were unjust and unreasonable. That is, they've already disallowed short-term price exchanges and ordered refunds during the same period that these contracts were negotiated between Sierra and Enron, Sierra meaning Nevada Power and Sierra Pacific, of course, and Enron. So I think it would be very unlikely that FERC would continue to hold this position. I don't really think it's tenable. I haven't understood why they've stuck to it this long. So first of all, I think that it's very unlikely that that settlement will be ordered in that amount, and that Sierra will have to end up paying that amount.
Okay, let me ask you this. Without any depth of knowledge on this particular subject, wouldn't that open up the floodgates in California for California companies to come back and try to renegotiate the monies that they were overcharged?
Certainly it does have ramifications for other contracts. What I'm concerned about are these specific contracts, and I think that FERC needs to make their judgment not based on some possible ramifications. I think they need to look at this contract on a case-by-case basis. Is this contract just and reasonable, or is it not? If it's not, then how can they possibly order Sierra Pacific Resources to pay Enron that amount of money?
As a Public Utilities Commissioner, you're in a quasi-judicial role.
Correct.
Ruling on the evidence that's presented before you, nothing else but just that evidence. When you're looking at rates for the ratepayers, whether or not to raise them, does the financial health of the company play into that? If Sierra Pacific looks like they might go belly up and they come to you for a very high rate hike, is that an element that you look at, is whether or not the company's going to go bankrupt?
I'm not really sure whether I understand your question. And since I haven't
Don't feel alone.
since I haven't ruled on a case yet, and being a commissioner is kind of a new job for me. So, but I'll do my best here. I guess basically the how much it costs the company to raise capital is a function of their bond rating and how the equity market views them. Okay, so how much you need to charge, how much you need to recover in rates, is a function of those two things, the cost of debt and the cost of equity. I think it's an open question, and I can't really comment on these companies in particular, but I think it's an open question on the effect of the combined effect of the debt and equity cost on the cost to ratepayers, and it would have to be decided on a case-by-case basis. How exactly that would be recovered. Did that answer your question?
Can I make it simple?
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line, good or bad, do we have to bail out Sierra Pacific or any other power company that we have in the state?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think we would ever get to the point where they're not going to be viable. I don't believe that they're going to go bankrupt myself. Based upon what I know now, I don't believe that they're going to ultimately lose this lawsuit and have to pay this $330 million. I believe they will continue to be financially viable. The public utility is meeting its obligations as far as again, this is getting into a area which I have to be very careful, but I just say the public utility has a certificate of public convenience and necessity. If it's meeting its obligations under that certificate, it's serving the public in the manner it is prescribed to serve the public, and then the costs that are incurred by it in the course of that service need to be evaluated and deemed to be just and reasonable or not just and reasonable, and rates are determined on that basis. And so I think it's very premature. I think that when you raise the specter of bailout, it makes it sound like we're allowing the utility to recover unjust and unreasonable costs, or we're allowing the utility to recover something that is not due to them. And at this time, I don't see that happening. I don't see the commission acting in that way. That's not. But that's what I can say, I think, about that.
Okay,
Carl?
I think I've got it. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers.
We're going to have you back on
after this time out.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowd family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers. Good to be back here, you know?
Well, I want you to know that I'm really glad you're back. Now I only have to do half the thinking.
Okay. Well, we're joined on the I don't know what that means. We're joined on the pundit panel by Keith Lee and Alfredo Alonso. Welcome to both of you here. I want to start off with just a couple of little notes here from things that our guests have said. If you were even considering a run for the Supreme Court after what happened in the last session, do you think you'd be siding with Justice Maupin? Would that be prudent?
Yes, the answer is yes. I think it would be prudent.
Is there anybody else you want to side with?
For political expediency, as well as, and I've said this on the show many times, including before the decision was handed down, that you know, it was the court had no business interfering at that point in time, and in my view, at any point in time in that issue, and that Justice Maupin's opinion, which essentially said it is not yet ripe for a decision for us, was correct. I would have gone a step further and said it's a political decision, and the court has no business being involved in this, and you know, the legislature will get on with this business, which it ultimately did. And I don't happen to subscribe to the theory that the reason we finally got it settled on the morning of July 22nd early is because of the Supreme Court decision. I don't believe that for one moment. I think we settled it because it was time to do it.
Okay, that was supposed to be a quick answer.
I know.
Okay, real quick answer.
Well, I believe it's actually it'd be politically expedient to run against the decision itself, as opposed to siding with Judge Maupin, because I think the decision is the one that's unpopular. And as you've seen probably in the papers and political circles, you've had folks take that for whatever political assistance that may give them. So I think it's going to be part of the overall anti-tax
If Don
sentiment.
Cherez decides to run against Deborah Agosti for the Supreme Court, do you think you'll have a chance of beating her? He was the one, of course, who ruled in favor of the Papists, which the court recently overturned.
I don't believe he would. I do believe he'd have a better chance than he would have if it were not for this decision.
Let me run into the next quick question here. Sierra Pacific Power Company, sounds to me like our new commissioner is saying that unless there is some horrible illegality, that Sierra Pacific will be propped up and saved.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that, and I think it would not bode well for our state if Sierra Pacific had to go into bankruptcy, but I honestly don't see how they can avoid it.
Do you think they're vulnerable for a takeover right now?
No. Who would want them? It's like being governor of California. I mean,
what a segue.
Why would anyone want that job? Why would anyone want Sierra Pacific?
I certainly hope Keith's wrong.
I do too. I hope I am wrong.
Because obviously, for the well-being of the state and the company, I think it's very important that they get out of this somehow. And I hope the commissioner is correct in his assertions.
Okay, we got 2 minutes here. Well, let's roll on what's going on in California.
Win one for the groper.
Okay, I'm going to go way out there. I'm going to say that the recall will fail and that Gray Davis will be governor in another week, because it's going to take them that long to sort their way through the ballot questions and the 5 or 6 different methods of voting and all that.
But you think we'll know in a week, do you?
I think we'll be lucky.
But you think Gray Davis will still be governor of California in a week?
I do.
Okay.
I do not. The polling numbers are terrible. Even with the new information on the alleged gropings, I still think Arnold is going to win this, but we won't know for weeks.
Well, now, will you both come back next week, next Tuesday?
Absolutely.
And you have to look at your schedule, but if you can come back next Tuesday.
And I will prostrate myself before all of you if I'm wrong.
We got a place for you to do that.
I understand.
Okay, I think that they've got $2.1 million absentee ballots still to count once they get today over with. Anybody who files a recount, that's another 6 weeks. You could have recounts filed over and over and over again. Gray Davis could delay anybody taking office for at least 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, but in my opinion, humble opinion here, bottom line is that Gray Davis is out, Schwarzenegger is in. The groping allegations are meaningless at this point in the game, right along with the Nazi allegations, which are absurd. I think the public in California is a lot smarter than they're being given credit for, and they're seeing through all this hooey at the end here. The problem for the folks in California is that they're being presented options that are not realistic. I mean, along the way here, and even Arnold has not said he's not going to have cut expenses and raise taxes. That's what's going to have to happen in California to fix the problem, and education is going to get cut in California.
When you have to
feed the biggest part of the pie.
When you have to feed your children, do you care whether or not somebody groped somebody if he can make sure that you have a job and you can put food on the table?
Well, I think there's something even more significant than this, and that is
5 seconds.
And that is the recall itself. Whether you're a fan of Gray Davis or not, the recall itself, I think, is a bad thing.
But it's part of the process. We're out of here. We'll be right back.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran. A New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Going to be a busy night tonight.
Yes, and tomorrow Don Carlson's here to do analysis on that election in California.
Watch News 4 for all the latest. We'll see you tomorrow.